the military order of the Order of Christ, with the express purpose of advancing the crusade against Islam. So we will be breaking down U.S. history in regards to the Order of Christ and the Holy War against Islam. The king's establishment of a new military order, the Order of Christ, 1319, with the express purpose of advancing the crusade against Islam. We're speaking of the Holy War. So with this Order of Christ, what does the United States have to do with Portugal and the Order of the Christ fighting against Islam in the Holy War? Well, let's see. A Guide to the United States History of Recognition, Diplomatic and Consular Relations by Country since 1776, Portugal. Summary. Portugal was the first neutral nation to establish diplomatic ties with the United States. Stop. We know that Morocco and the Moors was the first nation to recognize the United States. However, this is a back door because I'm going to show you in a minute in the newspaper where it says the Moorish authorities did not recognize this. The two countries have maintained positive relations since 1791 and share strong defense ties. Portugal is a member of the European Union and NATO. See, we're going to get into this NATO in a little bit too. Recognition. Portuguese recognition of U.S. independence 1791. The Portuguese government suggested in early 1791 that Lisbon and Washington exchange permanent diplomatic missions, indicating a de facto recognition of the United States. Now here we go. De facto, and that's how they're running to this day. However, Portugal did not officially recognize the United States until it accepted the credentials of U.S. Minister David Humphrey on May 13, 1791. As you see, this has been up since January 7th on the IG. Y'all are sleeping and need to study. United States-Portugal bilateral ties date from the earliest years of the United States when Portugal recognized the United States in 1791 following the Revolutionary War. The oldest continuously operating U.S. consulate in the world is located in Ponta Delgada. Now we're fine. This is where the base of the U.S. really is, on the island of São Miguel in the Azores. Now keep in mind about this island. Contributing to the strong ties between the United States and Portugal are the presence of sizable Portuguese communities in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, California, and Hawaii. Now here we get into the slavery turned into business. The United States' commitment to Portugal is enduring precisely because it is two-way. 70 years ago, from the ashes of global devastation and genocide, the United States and Portugal became charter members of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, along with the EU, IMF, and World Bank. So they're all put together for this slavery and fight against Islam by the Order of Christ. And the United Nations, now led by a Portuguese, were established to resolve challenges that no single nation or group would overcome on its own. Through our collaborations in these forums, the United States and Portugal have contributed to transatlantic unity. Is it really unity, or is it unity to fight against Islam and the Moors? From the very beginning. Now listen to this. During the Napoleonic Wars, the King of Portugal fled to Brazil. The U.S. legation followed and was located there from 1810 to 1821. It closed in 1821. So what closed? The U.S. legation? U.S. legation returns to Lisbon 1822. In 1822, the U.S. legation returned to Lisbon along with the King of Portugal. They're on their coattails, man. And they started this Order of the Christ. So they're guilty by association, if anything. Where it has since remained, Henry Dearborn Sr. was appointed U.S. envoy to Portugal on May 7, 1822, and arrived at Lisbon before August 16th, but did not report a date of presentation of credentials, so they was not recognized and they're in de facto. The U.S. legation in Lisbon became an embassy in 1944 when Henry Norwood presented his new credentials to Lisbon after he was promoted from minister to ambassador. So it's proven that this is de facto. and not recognized by the Moorish Empire or the Moorish government. So here we go. United States and Portuguese consuls not recognized at Fez. Tangier, February 24th, Senator Rizzo. The new Portuguese consul appointed to represent that country at Fez and who also claims authority to represent the United States in a consular capacity has presented his credentials to the Moorish government at Fez. The Moorish authorities rudely refused to recognize him and declined to grant him a residence in the capital on the ground that foreign agents were only allowed to reside at the Moorish ports. They was allowing us to do commerce and get the things we needed. We had a good deal, man, but we had to just push and push, man, and be greedy. I'm not going to keep you much longer, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come with the hammer of truth. But when I do, best believe I'm coming with information. We need our nationality. We need the knowledge and knowing that some of these people who are in these government seats are actually here to usurp us and socially absorb us. Because we don't have a nationality, they're really violating us.